Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to another Thirsty Thursday live stream. In today's episode, we have a special guest. We're going to be talking about this person's journey from application security into offensive security and so much more. So you guys know the drill. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe to the channel, like the video, ask questions in the chat. And yeah, let's bring our guest, Mina, in and have her introduce herself. How you doing,
Hi,
Mina?
everyone. Good. Hi, my name is Mina. I am doing pen testing right now. And as Pat mentioned, I was doing AppSec for 2.5 years. And then I've been doing pen test for another 2.5 years.
Nice. So, what really got you into the world of application security? What intrigued you on that side first before you pivoted your way into offensive security and pen testing?
It's actually because of my immigrant status at the time, because I got a master's degree in cybersecurity, and then at the time I had to have a H-1B working visa in order to stay in US.
Mm-hmm.
So when I applied for internship, I kind of just shooting for any opportunities that I could grab. So not compliance for sure, because I don't like compliance, no offense, but AppSec, pen test, OffSec, risk management, security analyst, just everything, and just kind of throw it out there, and just to see whatever opportunity could help me just get into the door into security.
Yeah, and that's super cool, and it's interesting because I remember when I got into pivoted my way in from system admin, system engineer, network engineering into cyber, application still till today, it never intrigued me. Coding, AppSec, it never was go and push stuff like GitHub and going to do some QA stuff and code review. It just never sparked my interest. So it's pretty interesting that, you got into that. So now you're pivoting into the world of offensive security and pen testing. What is some, for a newcomer, new kid on the block, what are some cool things that you take out of it? And what are some oh man, I wish this was a little different, because it can be difficult or even boring at times.
I love just breaking stuff, finding things in. So I just feel so happy every day for doing pen testing. That's 80% of my day, and I don't have any complaints. So I can feel I can do it till I'm 80 years old.
Yeah.
Sometimes the report writing is a bit harsh, because they need to make sure you documents everything, make sure it's readable, and people can actually follow correctly. And the opposite of enjoying at the moment, finding different flows. It's just your mind just see what's going on. So yeah, sometimes it's annoying. And I think another thing that I feel sometimes could be harsh is dealing with dev team, just developers, on telling them what is wrong with them. And then they could be really, really defensive on things that you found, and they'll get strong pushback on it. So sometimes just come on, this is kind of stupid. Let's just focus on fixing it, and then not talk about it again. But no, sometimes it needs an extra nudge to make sure they do their work.
Yeah, because if you think about it, right, because you're finding the flaw and you're making them look bad. This might be the thought process behind it. It's she found something I did wrong, and now she's trying to make me fix something, and it's oh shit, this is not cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's why being a pen tester, as a consultant or whatever, it's a little easier. And then when you're in an organization pen testing or doing some stuff, and if you're working for a hospital or a financial firm or whatever you're working, because I have friends work in every different field, and they're OffSec engineers within that same company, and they find it. I have one friend that actually went from consulting because he's dude, it's just too much. Then he found it with a huge a medical firm, healthcare firm, and then he's oh shit, this is annoying, because it's I can't run away, right? I have to deal with this person. I can't. It's not I'm pen testing a client, and then I'm okay, after the 40 hours, I give them the section report, and
just bye,
yep, bye, I love you, bye.
Yeah, for sure.
And now it's yeah, and you're complaining about someone's infrastructure, you're testing their stuff, and you have to see them tomorrow. You're the asshole that found my shit broken. You know what I mean? So it's uh-oh. So that's what I like to put that out there, because folks, that there's pen testing. There is pen testing that you can do for an internal organization, and you're not only doing internal pen testing, you're testing the apps that are public facing as well. So that's pretty cool to hear. So yeah, so for I don't know if you answered this. If you did, I'm sorry. But like for like the newcomers, like new kids on the block, what could I do to get into the world that you're in?
There are like multiple steps for people who are like brand new to security. It's like better to start with like CTFs, learning the basic concept, learn like the difference between encoding and encryption, hashing, these kind of basic concepts to establish the basic knowledge before you pivot to a very special like fields. So like before, like you need to have the basic knowledge to move to like AppSec, OffSec, forensics, whatever the path you choose. Some basic knowledge will be helpful, and then after that, you can start deciding the path to see which will be like more suitable for your interests and your skill sets. And then particularly for AppSec, like learning how to like threat modeling is a common field for AppSec and OffSec. That you need to know how to do threat modeling, how to think like an attacker to find risk. But for AppSec, I focus more on like doing scanner analysis, automation to capture more vulnerability in the earlier stage as possible. And also some secure tooling development. So I wrote some like simple scans to like do some source code discovery, dynamic analysis, things like that. But for OffSec, you do need to spend more time on like manual exploitations to learn how vulnerability works. How do you fix it? How do you find that through code review? So really still as a new kid, but I think it's just like a continuous learning process to kind of dive deep and also broaden your skill set to make sure that you have the skills you need to the position that you want to get to.
Yeah, awesome. And that's such valuable information. So as a pen tester, are you pen testing, like what is your area of expertise? Like, is it, I'm sure it's like more web and application pen testing, because for going from AppSec, it's not like you can go from AppSec to, something on the left field. Yeah, the network side, exactly. So is that what you do?
Yeah, so I do web app, mobile app, and do getting more like prompt injection testing from like LLM models nowadays, because it's the newest most popular thing now. So yeah.
Cool. So how are you with the network side? Like, do you do it outside of like just work? Like, do you do like, we could pivot now to like HackTheBox and do like different like platforms like that, try hacking HackTheBox and stuff like that. Do you practice your network stuff?
Oh yeah, I definitely do. I start doing a little bit more, and then I've been doing HackTheBox all the time. Like if there's anything new, I always want to try it on and then like get to it as soon as I can. And then I'm also just trying to like reading a lot more blog posts about like network pen tests and just to get that skill into my tech stack for sure.
Yeah, and so do you find like doing HackTheBox like that is useful for you? Do you have like set up your own lab at home and test it? Like, for example, you look at like the network stuff, like maybe Goat for the Active Directory stuff to set up that, or you just like say, oh, screw my home lab, I'll just go out and connect to a VPN and hack away on a platform.
I love using HackTheBox and like all of the labs they have because it's like quick, right? If you are learning something new, you just connect to the VPN, you're in, and then you do the lab, you learn it, awesome. But that's not the whole picture for learning, right? Like you do need to set up your home lab. You do need to build your stuff in order to figure out how to break it. That's why sometimes I will like write my own CTF challenges just for fun. It's like super painful to like write it because I'm not a web dev. But like writing your own challenges kind of help you to see what could be wrong and also just becoming a better pen tester from, learning how things works from the start.
Yeah. And that's something I need to start doing again, because I was doing not like really web stuff, but more like internal. Like I have a VMware server down there and I had on like a second ISP. I used OpenVPN and to like a pfSense box and like have friends come in just like and hack away, just like have maybe 3 or 4 people come in through there and just like, and then it was really interesting because not only going back to your point, it's not, open up Kali, OpenVPN to a VPN file and connecting and doing your Nmap scan and starting your recon is good in the hood. But now when you're actually sending out, what is Diffie-Hellman? How is that really connecting? What is the protocols? What is the network traversing? So that's where I think like setting up that home lab and just like, even like VMware or VirtualBox and just doing NAT configuration, set up basic routing, and that'll give you that little upper hand, because now if we're like, oh, let's go ahead and see if we could do MAC address change or MAC changer. And so, if we're doing some kind of, ARP spoofing, we don't want to have our VM caught or our host machine caught. So like, what is a MAC address? What is layer 2? So that's where those like little home labs and understanding those fundamentals. And I really, really harp on that, because some people just want to jump in with the cool anonymous mask and the hoodie, but like skip those fundamentals, and it can be a challenging stepping stone if you ask me.
Yeah, like definitely, because the foundation of those knowledge just like help you decide how far you can go along the way.
Mm-hmm.
And if you just have a very shaky foundation and you don't actually spend time learn and understand how things work, it will bite you back like in like a random time, just like ticking time bomb. So yeah, definitely agree that you need to have those experience. It's like tedious and sometimes like really painful, but it's part of the game. Like you need to do in order to get good.
Yeah, no, for sure. So just like report writing, right? Like our favorite report writing. And yeah, and so what, and you said report writing is like one of your least favorite. Is that, I think that's probably 85 to 90% of pen testers' least favorite. And then maybe the other 10% is like maybe doing a debrief because they have to talk to human beings. But that's besides the point. But yeah, so like, do you feel as though like reporting can be like your least favorite out of the whole field?
Well, so the thing is, English is my second language. So when I write a report, I need to like pay more attention on all the details to make sure like my grammar is correct, I use the right word. Because there are like some really niche idea of like different words has like different connotations, just like you can only know it when you are like really fluent in the language. So I need to like spend more time to pay closer attention to those to make sure I don't like accidentally offended some team that built the application. So I like it least because there are more things to care about during the process. And report is more permanent. Like more people are going to read it. It will be shared over and over again. You're going to be used as a reference, which means that if I miss something or if I mess up something, it's going to be there for a really long time. Yeah. So I don't dislike it, but it definitely take a lot of energy out of me, whereas pen test itself just like pure fun.
Yeah, exactly. And that you made a really, really good point there, because like there's positions that, I applied for, and I, if it's a contract role or a full-time role, whatever role, they've asked me, like I get the offer and like, oh, can you send me some redacted, reports just to see how you've done? And I guess it's like nowadays it's so cool because you have like SysRaptor, you have PlexTrack, you have all these things that really do it for you. Essentially, you just have to take really good screenshots and just like maybe add a line under your picture to showcase that. I don't really know. I know like two people or two companies that still do hand pen testing reports. Do you do it by hand, or do you actually have a system that that does it for you?
It's a combination. So like there is a template that I usually comfortable with using, and I use it as the baseline to build out my report. So then I know that what kind of sections or what kind of type of information I would like to include that. So I will make sure that those are always there. But for individual findings, I personally prefer to write them manually because I need to make sure like I can reproduce a scenario as detailed as possible. So then whoever's reading it will have no problem following it and they're recreating the vulnerability.
Gotcha. That's really valid. So I just want to pivot to like certifications, education. You said you have a master's in cyber. And so as far as like certifications, going from AppSec to OffSec, do you have any certifications? Are you planning on doing any certs? And what do you think, having a master's degree, how important you think that was for your career as, as of now, and then having like certifications, one versus the other?
Yeah. So I would pursue a master's degree because my bachelor degree was in accounting, and there's no way I can find a security job with an accounting degree. It just like doesn't look right on the resume. So I figured like it doesn't hurt to spend more time in school, meet more people in the industry, be more prepared to land my first job in security, and that's why I went for the master degree. But to be honest, I went to NYU, and all the courses are actually the same class for master and bachelor degree. So for those who are like thinking about having a master degree but also already do CS and security in bachelor, I don't see a huge value in it for sure. And then for cert wise, I took OICP exam during the transition period from AppSec to OffSec, and I was still recommending doing it, although the new OICP Plus is a little bit stupid, and we can talk about it more later. And as of now, I don't hold any certs, but I'm planning to do OSWE, which is the white box web app pen test from OffSec soon. And then I'm also trying to take more courses and training, maybe certs in like more networking, red team oriented fields.
Okay, so ultimately, your ultimate goal is to do red teaming, like an actual red teamer, or like pen testing, and then like just dabble in the red team, or like you want to go full on red team.
I like to touch on both. From my perspective, like red teaming definitely get a better holistic view of the whole ecosystem more than pen testing, where it's like more app focused and also more targeting to one specific field, like network pen test.
Yeah.
But then just like having both skill sets up, I might be able to create more potential attack path. Just combining all of the skills together, we'll be able to land a more like intricate, more complicated, or cooler exploits on the system.
Yeah, no, for sure. Obviously, red teaming is all about that, right? That stealthy, the movement versus like, okay, let me just spray and pray and do whatever I need to do on a pen test, because the objective is whatever the objective is, right? The objective for red teaming is be a little more quiet and stealthy and see if we can have that persistence in the system without getting caught by that blue team. So that's really cool. That's really cool. So the OSWE, I want to stay on that topic for a second, because there's probably some people out there, especially my audience, is more like beginner friendly beginners, like maybe not so up on the skill set of OSWE. So you said it's from offensive security. It's a white box assessment. So how does that compare to like for what you're doing today? Like, what is the OSWE? Can you get into? Are you studying for it right now?
Yes.
Oh, cool. So you're doing, what is it, the Web 300?
Yeah.
Cool. So yeah, if you can elaborate on a little bit, and that's one in my wheelhouse too, but I'll let you speak on it.
Sure. The courses itself already feel pretty intense because it's essentially like what you will experience as a web pen tester in real life. Because then you have the source code, you have the application, you might be able to see, you sometimes might be able to see the server that running that, and then just experience like just decompile the Java code and analyze like what is going on there. It is definitely way complicated than like the usual traditional CTF style that people see more about web challenges. It also have like kind of a luck factor in it, because like you are reviewing a huge code base and then you need to like pinpoint where is the vulnerability, find it on the application side, verify that, make sure you use the right payload, make sure have everything there, filter, bypass, etc. I love it, but it's definitely time consuming, I would say. Like it's definitely not beginner friendly, because there are so many things you need to know in order to build up upon using those together.
Gotcha. And when do you plan on taking the exam? Do you have
I don't want to talk about it. Right now I'm just focusing on the studying. Hopefully this year. I have like a lot of other stuff going on this year, but I hope to get it this year.
Yeah, cool. That's awesome. Yeah, like there's a few that I'm working on that's probably, like the CPTS, and I want to do CBBH. And I think like after the CBBH, I will probably go for OSWE just to have more understanding. It's either that, or I don't know if I want to do like OSEP, experience pen tests, because I heard it's hard. And I think the whole stress of like 48 hours, like that's super, super stressful. And People know I'm already doing the CPTS, and that's 10 days, and that was super super in depth and super stressful. I'm not gonna lie, it has been a little much of a journey, but yeah, I can only imagine just like 2 days because it's 48 hours, and you just have to. And is it? I don't know if this is. Do you have to write the report everything within 48 hours?
Oh, no, no, no. So for OSWE, it's also 48 hours. You have, I believe, another 24 hours. Actually, it's like 23 hours and 45 minutes to. Well, actually, no, the exam is like missing 15 minutes, but then you can have a whole 24 hours writing the report afterwards.
Gotcha. So you have 3 days to do a pen test and a report.
Yeah. And then you don't get to see the instance after the 40 hours. So if you don't have enough screenshots, you are like screwed.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the thing with a lot of these exams, right? Like that's why people say like take screenshots, even if the more the merrier, because you can always whack some, delete some off your or whatever out of your notes. But like I'll be honest with this exam I'm in the middle of doing and CPTS. I'm taking screenshots. I don't even know what the screenshot's for. Like I'm just taking this because if I lose access, I'll just fucking take a screenshot. Every single command, screenshot. Every output, screenshot. And I probably in notes right now, I have about 210 pages of just notes for this exam. So it's really, really, the exam is, and I'll make a more thorough video on my experience, but it's really, really interesting. Way harder than OSCP. Way harder. I love TCM. I love Heath Adams, but that way harder. Like it's nothing compared. And then like when people say like the CPTS and then go for OSCP, I don't know, man. I don't know. Like because the OSCP is just pretty much like known exploits, right? And doing some priv-esque. It's not like you have to abuse really anything. It's just I don't know. I don't want to give too much away on this exam, but like it's way harder. So people out there are like, oh, I want to do like maybe this is the stepping stone like PJPT or PMPT or then CPTS and then OSCP. Nah, dude.
Wrong way.
No. And I'm living it. So I'm living it right now. And I'm telling you, I don't know if I'm just dumb, which is really hard for me, but I heard from multiple people that it's been challenging. And I remember, and that's why I never go into an exam underestimating, right? Like I remember people were saying just like, oh, do your PMPT. That's with your experience, it'll be easy. I was not going to go in there thinking I'm going to ace it, and then it was, like I said, that exam was really easy. And then like the same thing with this one, I'm like, okay, like I'm going to go into it like really, really studied up. And thank God I had a few notes because there's some, especially, I think I can say this, I don't know, but if I can't, sorry. But flag 1 and flag 9 is the hardest. That's the hardest flags. Like, good luck getting
There's
those.
someone listening just for changing the order of the flags right now. Just
Yeah.
You're gonna mess it up.
Yeah, 1 and 9. That's all I can say. But it was, it took me 9 hours just to get flag 9. Like 9 hours just to get that. And
You sound really traumatized.
oh, fuck. Yeah, I am. I am. And this whole other thing on the back burner. But yeah, so like so anyone that's out there that's thinking CPTS is a stepping stone to OSCP, you got that shit wrong. But that's cool. So the OSWE, hopefully you got plan on doing that. So after that, since you're doing web app right now, that's why you're going for that. And then like after that, since you want to pivot into like more red team, OffSec, networks type stuff, because red teaming is more, C2 frameworks. Do you work with any C2s even on your off time? Like, are you familiar with any?
I am slightly like familiar with like a football strike, and like I remember like we still use like Army Touch. It's like a long time ago. It's still a thing. I am kind of familiar with it, but I wouldn't say that I have the muscle memory built up for it.
Yeah.
So that is definitely like another area that I assume that once I do more lines of work there, I will get pretty good at it pretty fast. But right now, if you like if I need to do it like right away, then I was like, no, I need to do some intense Googling and then make sure things are right.
Yeah, absolutely. Like the good thing is like if you want to go red team route and you do like CRTO, I haven't taken this exam, and I think you get if anyone that's watching, if you do a CRTO, I think you get like a copy of Cobalt Strike because Cobalt Strike is a part of it. I don't know if it's like an eval version or just in the lab environment. I don't know, but I'm pretty sure that you get that. And Armitage, you could still install Armitage. You can still, I think
It's
you're
still a
still,
thing.
yeah, you can still
Okay.
download it.
Oh wow.
But yeah, it's still a thing. I don't think it comes pre-installed with Kali anymore. Kali always removes it, but if you just do app get install, you can install pretty much anything. But like getting familiar with like Havoc or Sliver, these Mythic, that's another good one that I've been tinkering with off the camera on my free time. But yeah, that's super sick. So yeah. So what else like what else is going on in your world that you like to share with the folks out there? Yeah, just go ahead and share what you want. And
Yeah,
what
sure.
else?
I mean, for security related, I think that is pretty much what I'm doing. It just always feel like there are so many things going on, and then like I always have like the biggest fear of like lefting out, and that's why I just keep like looking at all the bug bounty program, like public reports, and then trying to stay on top of all of the issues. And I like think right now my biggest fear is like becoming that one person in security in like the same equivalent of the CrowdStrike incident, just like be the person who messed up so badly that break the whole world. Like that is like my biggest motivation, just like don't be that person.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so then like I've been doing like a lot of like Python. I'm thinking about like picking up a new like programming languages, just get better at it. Because it's like I do a lot of web apps, so like Java is the main thing. I
Mm-hmm.
kind of not doing too much PHP because like I just don't like it that much. But yeah, it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I was going to like try OSCP again because like the first time I took it, I missed one. Um, I think it was one initial foothold. It's not even like one root shell to pass the exam because I didn't do the lab and like I didn't do the extra credits and stuff. And I was like, yeah, it's fine. I will get it. No, I was like missing just by a little bit, and then I might do it again. Gonna ignore the whole like OSCP plus
Yeah.
thing they're trying to push. I don't like it. And for those who are like thinking about transferring into OffSec from like other security field, OSCP is still probably the most recognized one in the industry, but probably it might change in like the next 2 years just because of like the fluff they are trying to add to it, and it makes it kind of lose its initial charm a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I agree with that. I think pretty much the whole thing with OffSec is that they're super expensive, like super duper expensive for what you're getting. Like I have to say, go back to this like HackTheBox and the penetration testing path. Like I thought I knew a decent amount, and I've learned probably 20% more, 30% more to my arsenal just doing that pen test, path. It's huge. It's really long, but there's like you said, things are always changing. Things are always now. Hack the Box is implementing their whole AD advanced hacking thing, or their, all their stuff. And I think the whole CPTS is going to take over the OSCP, and the whole OSCP plus, just because of the government and all that stuff is. I guess the kudos to them, what I can say is like if it expires, so say for example, you're not working for the government, after 3 years, it goes back to an OSCP. It's not like you like lose it. It's like, so that's, kudos to OffSec for that. But yeah, I guess they're, just another stream of revenue to come in. And now you have some people for the DOD, maybe it was pretty much probably aimed for them.
Yeah, for sure.
So
Yeah, it's like at some point once it becomes big enough to go to the next level, then it might just like switch your like target audience a little bit. And I do like the CPTS. I start encouraging people to take that. And I just think like it's a matter of time for like, because the thing is, right, if you want to get in, the first one who see your resume will be a recruiter, not like a security professional. So there might be like an awkward time where CPTS is great, but the recruiters haven't pick it up yet. But then like in like a couple months they will.
Yeah. So the next thing I want to talk about, so like how has it been for you to like networking with people? Like how important has that been in the industry? And did you get the job where you're at now or prior, wherever you have been, through networking, or it was always through, applying and going through the long route?
So the current job I have is through just like pure applying, which is horrifying because you don't know what is you're going to go through. And then I just kind of get an email saying, oh, schedule an interview. And then that's like no human interaction. And I think they fix it because of how bad the experience was. But then for previous opportunities, I essentially find out about the company or the position through networking and through talking to people and then have a relationship with them. It is super important in the industry just because like when I was doing like DEF CON, I was like at the line con for getting the merch. I was there for like 4 hours, but I got to like meet people that I would never be able to meet outside of that line. Like I met this really cool person who was doing like shopping cart, those like Target shopping cart hacking that he can just like remotely stop or start doing it by the radio frequency. Like there's no way I would be able to learn about that if I wasn't standing in the line.
Yeah, exactly. And so about DEF CON and conferences, like is that the first time you went to DEF CON?
No, that was my third one. So this is my third one this year. I went there like a couple years before and then missed a couple ones because of COVID.
Cool. So that's even better now, right? So from the Caesar's Palace to Las Vegas Convention Center, what are your thoughts? Which one's better? Speak about like the two experiences that you had.
I really dig in the convention center. I just like everything being in the same place. Like myself is not very good at directions, and like when I see places like you have multiple hotels with no inside coverage, I usually just like suffer from the Vegas heat to get into the village that you want to go. It's just like that just makes the whole experience so much worse. Like having everything there. I was also staying at the Fontainebleau, so like right across the street from the convention center. So I was like literally just maximizing my time indoor and also staying in the conference. And I feel like I was so efficient this year comparing to like the previous years.
Nice. Yeah, I agree. I love that it was all in one location. Like it was huge. That place was huge. And it was so big. And that's what we were talking offline. Like, even though the convention's supposedly from Thursday to Sunday, and it's like literally it's only Friday and Saturday. Sunday everyone's breaking down by noon and they're out of there. So it's like, well, like there was I don't remember the name of the place. Like in the middle, like you go through like it looks like a haunted house. Like if you're in a haunted house, you're going through like, and then like there's like something in the middle. It's like I forget what they call it. Literally, they had like a white picket fence around, and you walk through. There was a center area. I missed it. Maybe you missed it too. I don't remember what it's called. Yeah. And I remember on Sunday, a friend of mine was like, "Hey, have you checked out this thing?" Eric, actually, I saw him in the chat. Eric, if you remember what that thing is called, I don't recall. Yeah, and he's like, "Yeah, please comment because I don't remember that thing." We went in and they're like, "Oh, it's closed." I'm like, "Fuck, that thing looks so cool." And he showed me videos. I'm like, "That thing looks so dope." The AI Village, I don't know if it was AI Village. I don't know. I'll text Eric too because I have Eric's number. But yeah, it was really cool, and it's so.
Oh, is it I went to the AICC thing.
Yeah, maybe I have no idea if that's it. Thank you. I don't know what it's called. All I know was Eric was like, yeah, let's go to this thing. It looks pretty. It was cool because he'd been to it. I'm like, yeah, let's do it, and fucking thing was closed. But maybe next year. So yeah, like this year, it was definitely better that it was all in one location. But I think like what's important to these conferences is having a schedule, having a plan. And that's one of my weaknesses because I'm like, yeah, like, I'll meet up with Mina, I'll meet up with Devin, I'll meet up with John, and it's like, you don't do any of that stuff. It's like, you just start wandering la la land. and you see one person on the line, like you said, and you start talking to them for hours, and you go have lunch with them, then you're stuck with that person, because if you leave, you feel like a dick. And it's like, so it's like next year, I'm definitely going to have more of a syllabus. Like, okay, like that's it, 15 minutes increments is like, and yeah, but overall, I thought it was really, really cool. So yeah, I wanted to ask as well, like, so in today's industry, like as a pen tester or in cybersecurity, like what do you think has been like the biggest threat for like for cyber? Like, do you feel phishing? Do you feel like the human element? Do you feel lack of security posture? Like, where do you think the biggest risk is?
The arrogance.
That's a good one.
Like everything is a human error. Like most of the things is caused by human error. If it's machine, human wrote it before AI, and then AI is trained by human. But I think having like staying humble and then keep acknowledging that things are changing, the old way not always work. You need to like keep learning and finding new way. Is like sometimes it's hard to have that mindset as always when you are becoming a subject expert.
Mm-hmm.
I think I noticed it during my work, just like, oh, I'm so good at doing web app because I'm doing so many now. I have my own muscle memory. I have my own methodology. It
Mm-hmm.
works so well, but then like sometimes I just thinking like, let's wait a second. Did I miss something? Did I just think I know it all and then actually don't know? Um, and I think that is like the biggest thing, right? Just people say they are really good at what they're doing, and then stop fact checking themselves and then just let it go.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's definitely some interesting stuff. So I guess like I wanted to ask something, and I came up with this, and this is why I put that there. Like, what's the most like critical vulnerability that you've discovered so far in your career? Even if it's at your day job, if it's after hours in bug bounty, what is like the most critical, or what? Maybe I can make this even better. What is the most proud that you've been? You're like, oh shit, this is Mina's day because I'm the one that discovered that.
Um, there are a couple pretty bad ones. I'm not sure how much I can share because then I might get help
Yeah,
by the lawyer. But I can share one that is like the proudest because they're the most memorable one. Like it's nothing very
because
very
it,
special.
and you don't have to say where it was. Just talk like you don't have to say the application or whatever. Just like, oh, like it was a cross-site scripting an application that I found on the internet. Because everything's on the internet. You don't have to say specifics.
Yeah, sure. So there are a couple ones that are related to like mobile ones that have like geofence.
Mm-hmm.
Geofence bypass was a pretty fun one. Like if they have like any sort of like location locked on certain features, I found like a way to like bypass it and then still enable the features when I'm not supposed to.
Mm-hmm.
That one I'm pretty proud of, and it was pretty bad because of like it was like a huge user base. Like they fix it right now, but it was like applied to so many different things that it was like pretty bad impact. And then the first one I ever found, I was actually just doing my AppSec work, and then one time I got like really bored, and then I was poking around, found a store XSS across multiple services. Because they're all using the same profile, and that
Mm-hmm.
profile is not coded properly, and then there's no front end encoding, so you just display everywhere. That one was pretty fun. And I found a couple ones that have essentially permission dependency issues where across different systems, they kind of just trusting each other blindly instead of further verifying user permission when they take the information from another service. So like cross-service exploitation is like very fun because then like sometimes they just trust each other, like, oh, you verify it, cool, we're good. And then if one party did not, and then you just like having the trust over everybody, and then just like, yeah, cool, now I just like have everything now.
Yeah, that is pretty sick. That is pretty sick. So, yeah, I'm just looking. I want to type up. Uh, I lost my train of thought, and now I'm just gonna type this now. All right. So, I guess like what like pushes you, and like what boundaries do you like? Okay, like what keeps you going in cybersecurity? Like, is it like learning? Is it like the people you work with? Like, what keeps you like thriving?
Definitely working with really smart people. I just really enjoy. seeing different perspectives and also like different vulnerabilities people managed to found that I wasn't able to, and just like, oh, cool. So now there's another way for me to do the thinking. And that's why I also love playing CTF, because I just see how people design different challenges that are like outside the box, not in the usual feature.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I'm just like a person that cannot get bored. Like when
Mm-hmm.
I get bored, I just feel like I'm dying and then not be able to like be really happy. So they just kind of, if I keep going this way, if I keep creating more stuff that makes me happy, that is just like makes me really like find purpose of my life.
Absolutely, absolutely. So that's cool. So it's funny because I never got into CTFs until like maybe 4 years ago, 5 years ago. So what is your take, like CTF versus real pen testing? And yeah, like what is your take on that? Yeah, go ahead. So
Yeah. They're not the same thing. They're not the same thing at all. If for those who wants to like get some inspect of like how a real life pen tests work, I would recommend like going through bug bounty program or like read bug bounty report. Those are like more similar to real life. But for CTF, the thing is, right, when you open the challenge, it's there. There's a vulnerability there.
mm-hmm,
Instead of in real life, you kind of just go blindly. You have a huge place to analyze, and then you don't know where the vulnerability could be,
mm-hmm,
which is very different in the mindset setup. Because for in real life, sometimes you try everything and then just have to accept that maybe nothing is there. Like once you confirm, then you need to learn, move on. Versus CTF, you just kind of have to go deeper and then find out everything that you will eventually get a flag. So it's a very different mindset. And also in real life, there are like so many different detections in real life. Just like you need to like be more still and be more mindful about your environment than the CTF. Like I'm sure like there are a lot of cases in CTF I kind of just like throw things at the challenge and then just like go all in that whatever I had, just like throw into it and then see what's going on. Cause like, the time is running out and I'm desperate. So, all in. But
yeah,
in real life, you really cannot do that. Cause like
yeah,
there are corporate security or there are like defense, like running detection on your devices in the public network in this application that will just start complaining.
yeah,
And just like as a OffSec engineer, like I have to like be more mindful about what, like I don't want to create more troubles for other security engineers working, for the same purpose.
yeah. Awesome. That's pretty cool. So I want to go on with two more questions, and then we'll go on to the questions from if anyone has any questions for us. So the next thing I want to ask is like, if you can go back and give your younger self one piece of advice, what would it be? Like you, yeah.
I
I
have
like to
a
ask.
real answer and a shitpost answer. I can start with the shitpost answer, which is buy Bitcoin and then sell it on time.
Yeah.
And like I've been thinking about this a lot. Like that would be like one thing if I have a time machine, that's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
The real answer just like I don't know, keep curious. You are on the right track.
Mhm.
Don't give up. And just like be yourself, and then like just go with the flow. Everything's gonna work out fine.
Yeah, exactly. I think everything happens for a reason. People, we walk this life, and wherever we end up, that's where we're meant to be. I don't believe like, oh, I should have been over there yesterday. I could have been over there. No, this is right where you belong, and that's cool. So then the next thing, and then we'll go into here, and then we'll wrap up for the evening. So if you weren't in cybersecurity, what other field would you be passionate about? Would it be accounting?
No, God, no. Oh my God. I was like seriously depressed when I was in accounting
Oh,
major. I was just like, I hate this. Like I hate this. I hate my life. I don't like this at all.
yeah,
Um, I am really good with animals. Like I love all sorts of animals. They all have pretty friendly reactions towards me. So I think if I'm not doing security, or if one day computer disappear from the world, I will own like an animal shelter and just taking care of all the animals that got abandoned or cannot have a home.
awesome. And do you have any pets?
I have a pet growing up, but right now I am not in a very settled time of my life. So like I'm still renting. I want to buy a house first before I
Yeah,
have a pet.
cool. Awesome. Thanks for that. So let's see if there's any questions. If you have any questions for myself or Hina, throw it up there. Hello. Assalamu alaikum. I'm from Pakistan. My question is, my CD doesn't work in Cali. I can at least show you. Understanding. I don't know if that's a joke, but my CD command doesn't work on Kali Linux. Please
Answer me
answer.
slowly, because I can't understand English very well, please. We need, I mean, like the real answer is we need more information
Yeah.
to help. Like I want to see the error message and what is the reaction we put in the CD comments. And Google is always your friend.
Yeah. Yeah, that's another thing. Yeah, because if you're trying to CD into a directory that doesn't exist, it's going to give you an error. So first do so I'll say this slow, like wherever you are in your command, do an ls and see if there's anything that resides in there. And if you don't know where you are, just type in pwd and you can see the path where you reside. And then if you see a folder that's there, make sure it's not a file. And then try to cd space, like hit the space bar and then type in, you can hit the first letter and just hit tab on your keyboard and see if it autofills. And if it does and it gets you a slash, just hit enter and see if you can get into that directory. Hopefully that answers it. I don't know if you're still around, because if you're in Pakistan, it's probably 4 in the morning, because I think you're 9 hours ahead. So thanks for coming out.
Yeah, and like take a nap before you drive yourself crazy and then try it again. Sometimes you might just need some sleep to solve a problem.
Oh yeah, I had that happen when I think it was, I don't remember if it was Dante or it was one of the pro labs, and literally I was stuck and I was like, all right, you know what? I want to go to the gym, get out of the house for a bit. Literally I got to the gym and I was like, fuck, I think I know what it is. I zipped back and literally I just had to disconnect for that 15 minutes just to like get away from my computer. And then once I came back, I figured out what I needed to do. And it's just like a brain fart. And the same thing like goes on like interviews. Like I've been on interviews, literally, no joke. Like I just freeze up and they're like, oh, so you have a low privilege user in a network. What would you do to go get DA? Like what, and there's a million ways, right? I can get to California. I can drive to your house. I can, take a plane. I can take a train. There's a million ways to get to Cali, to New York, to wherever. And I'm like, is there a right answer? And I was like, is there a right answer that you're looking for? Or if I can just tell you what I would do, because
I can all the ways.
Yeah, there's a million ways. Like I can just hang out and run the responder until I get, a domain admin to log in and capture his hash. Or I can, take the long route and getting, so many other avenues. But yeah, I'm not going to mention the company, but that interview got worse like 15 minutes in, and I just said, all right guys, I'm not interested, and I just hung up the Teams chat. But I was like, peace out.
Yeah,
but
as you should.
Yeah, I was like, fuck that. Off topic, Pat, I don't know if you were last time we talked. Yep.
Ooh.
And you highly encouraged me. I passed. Awesome, dude. Congrats, Tony. I appreciate it. Yeah, and that's a fun exam. That was a really fun exam. I did it. And that's the Red Hat Certified Administrator, if those people out there aren't familiar with the RHCA. So congrats, Tony. Awesome. What's next for you? If you're still hanging out, what's next for you on your agenda? And what certification can you get into red team route? So awesome. Cyber. So I guess I'll answer it since I took a few. So red team, like true red teaming, like real red teaming, like the CRTO. I haven't taken this exam, but like the CRTO from Rostamaus, that is really, really Cobalt Strike. It's really red team driven. And if you want to go like get some red teaming experience without that, I can speak on some that I've done. Like from HackTheBox, from the pro labs, like the APT labs, you can do cybernetics, you can do Rasta lab, and offshore. I did all the pro labs, and they were, you still have to use Sliver or Mythic or Mythic, Sliver, Havoc, or whatever, some kind of C2 framework. And you really, you get the nitty gritty of utilizing it. So yeah, dude, get that engineer, man. I didn't go that high. I'm guessing you're like a Red Hat engineer, but kudos, T. But yeah, hopefully Noah, that helps you. and good luck with your journey. And if you ever want to like chit chat and get on a call, you know, you can visit my site or just, you know, email me. We can always chit chat and get on a call and talk about a little bit about your journey and some of your goals. And just running through try hacking modules and studying pen tests plus studying guide. Yeah, awesome. So I can give my feedback. Okay, so I can give my feedback to the pen test one, pen test plus from CompTIA, and I think going through that would be awesome to understand a lot of the theory. But if you want to get more hands-on, I would start looking more towards practical certifications. The only time I like recommend like Security Plus, Network Plus, A Plus, Pentest Plus, CYSA Plus, mostly like the Security Plus, is if you're in the US and you're looking to do like DoD because they require it, right? But if you want to be, you know, work in an organization where you're really hands-on keyboard and you're getting more into the pen testing world, I would say practical knowledge and instead of the theoretical aspect, that would definitely bring you a long way. Me, like, if you want to go ahead and give your 2 cents, go for it.
Yeah, definitely agree with what you said. I personally, because like I never do government work, and I personally consider all of the like theoretical exams less helpful. And then I do see like some frustration among people who took it and then be like, why haven't I got a pen test work in the industry? Because they're like totally separate skill set. So if you are looking for like having a cert, for pen test, I think the CPTS from like HackTheBox, the certified pen test specialist will be like a good route to start. Just get more practical experience out there. Will like be more efficient with the time.
Yeah, most definitely. And like I said, it's a lot. You know what I mean? If you have to dedicate a lot of time, because one thing about the CPTS, you can't just go take $210, go buy the voucher. You have to go through their whole course.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, and that shit is long. So be prepared for that. So Christopher, what came out? How can you become more of a heavy hitter? Like, oh man, I'm not a heavy hitter, man. I'll be hitting tennis balls. That's it. No hard balls. But as we upskill, so you're welcome. I wouldn't say be like me. I don't want no one to be like me. I just want you to be like yourself and do you, right? And I think at the end of the day is just always challenge yourself and be better tomorrow than you were today. And if something, doesn't go your way, don't look at it as like a failure because I tend to do that, right? I made a funny joke prior to here. Like, I'm like, fuck, like this happened to me. And what am I going to do? I can, I did cry a little bit, but I was like, fuck my life. But anyhow, like now I can just learn from what this situation brought me and now how to improve that. And how do I know, like, okay, what happened here? I'm not doing that shit again because I want to get the same result. So that's just a way I would say that's the way you can upskill and, bring yourself up. What about you?
Me, I think just don't take things personally. Like if you didn't pass anything, if things didn't go your way, it doesn't mean you're stupid. It just means that the situation haven't worked out yet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, totally. Yeah, because and our worst critics are ourselves, right? We're the worst. Like, I'll make this public one day, but there was an incident that happened that I spoke to a few friends today. This thing happened today, and every single person was like, "Oh, dude, I don't worry about it." And me, I'm like, it's easy to say, but I'm going inside of my head, killing myself all day, and I'm like, "Oh man, like what happened? Like, what could I have done different, or what can I do better?" And all you can do is say, "Okay, fuck this." This happened here, but tomorrow I'm gonna fucking hit a home run and do it. Fucking got like this thing in my throat. But yeah, so I'm not sure if there's any other questions, and if there isn't, we can give you back a few minutes of your day because I don't know what's going on. Fucking dying over here. But yeah, so anyone wants to connect or with you, how can they connect? Or if they want to, however do you want to do your thing? Like if you want to give out how you can connect and reach out to you, you do? You can do that. But
yeah, sure. I can type like my email. That's like the best way to reach me. Or like LinkedIn,
yeah.
always work. So yeah, feel free to
Okay.
share that.
Yeah. So if you want to reach out and have any questions for her, you can go ahead and do that. And yeah, so I guess we have one more question and we'll call it a night from Angel. Any cool platforms that you guys like to try out ideas like HackTheBox or Pwn Labs? I haven't tinkered too much with Pwn Labs, to be honest. I think that's more the cloud stuff, right? The AWS and stuff like that, I think.
I think so too. Let me
Yeah,
do.
I'm not too sure. But where I spend a lot of my time, especially like the last 2.5 months of my life, has been HackTheBox. I do every day. I do something on, try hack me because I don't want to lose my streak, but I do have a pretty long streak, so I don't want to lose that just by not answering a question. But I spend my time more on HackTheBox just because I've been doing the pro labs and I was studying for CPTS and I'm going through CBBH and yeah, so I would say HackTheBox.
Yeah, same for like a lot of web or red teaming, just a pen test, red teaming content. I usually just go to Hack the Box and then try out different path, different modules, different like boxes to get those idea. For like prompt tests, right now I finished a Gandalf. So Gandalf has like it's like a 8 stages challenges to try like prompt injection. I did that, and also I really like the Portswigger lab for prompt injection test. They have some pretty good ideas there, so definitely try that out.
Yeah, I forgot about Portswigger. That's from like the Burp Suite folks.
Definitely, yeah,
Yeah, so yeah, that's definitely a tool. You probably live in a lot,
yeah.
and it's funny because not until I'll make this public or whatever. Like about a year ago, I never barely used Burp Suite. Like I barely ever used it. And about like probably almost a year ago now, it's like, okay, I'm getting used to this. And now I'm using it a lot more. And just for certain things, I'm not in it a lot because I don't really do web apps. But like now at least I understand it. It was so overwhelming for me. Like I'm like, I don't even know what's Foxy Proxy and doing like I have to do this and that. I'm like, I don't fucking know what I'm doing. But once you get a hang of it, like it's a really cool tool. It's not only for web app, you can use proxy, you can do so many other things with it that I didn't really know until you start using it. So the moral of the story is just, tinker around with different tools and just, stay ahead and keep learning. That's my advice for tonight.
For sure. And then if you want, you can write some like extensions for Burp by yourself. And those are like really fun experience to do and also just like make it more handy and then gear really custom to your own attack path or like any habits that you have.
Yeah. Awesome. Cool. So my last word was that to keep learning, enjoy. I did have, I did put out a course that I am working on more sections of that course. So, come soon, there will be a few more, probably a lot more. I think 4 more I'm working on. So that will probably be out probably in the next month or so. It is a lot of work just to do that course. It literally took me a few months to put together. And I'm always, whoever's in that course. So if you look at the syllabus and just like, oh, like I'm always open for feedback. So maybe I
Put
can
the link
add.
here.
Yeah. Yeah. Put the link. Yeah. Yeah. The link is, I think the link is somewhere. I always lose that link. Let me actually find it and let me throw it in. Let me see. Where the hell is it now? Let me go to, maybe I should have been a little more prepared for that.
Sorry to put it on your spot, but I just figured what a great time,
Yeah.
to like advertise this.
Yeah, let me do this really quick. Oh, there you go. He's faster.
Awesome.
Yeah. So yeah, if you go there and if you even like, if you join Discord and I have a little channel in there, it says like for course. And even if you see the syllabus and you're like, oh, like you should do this. Like for an example, I want to say it like right now I'm working on a whole social engineering section. And what my thought process was for this course was like very, very beginner friendly. Like, and what would I want to see before, you know, and what the exams I've taken the last couple months. So I took what I learned and I was like, okay, like I can put this into like, instead of like a video here and there, let me try to put this in some structure. And I love social engineering. So I can make a whole course on just, you know, fucking shooting the shit, right? And so I was like, okay, let me do this. And I'm doing some Privest, social engineering, hacking the end user. So hacking the end user just by creating payloads, using the fat rat, using Veil, just certain other payloads that we can utilize. And yeah, you guys will see it if you're a part of it. I'm super stoked. And my favorite section probably still is the Wi-Fi section because I like Wi-Fi hacking and I try to keep it as simple as possible. So I can definitely do more advanced Wi-Fi rogue access points and do all that stuff. But remember, I wanted to just to be very, very beginner friendly. So yeah, hopefully everyone enjoys it. And yeah, that's it for me. I don't want to take too much time. But thank you, Mia. Any last words? And then we'll call it a night.
Awesome conversation. And thank you all for being here.
Awesome. 谢谢，太
谢
前。
谢。